because of the market disruption that happened with COVID. But you are an exceptional case of how you reacted during COVID.
And one of the reasons kids love coming to our practice, when I ask a mom or dad, why did you come here? Many times they say, my kids begged me to come here.
Becoming a master is not about doing 4,000 things. It's about doing 12 things 4,000 times.
The Ultimate Sales Machine presents the CEO Mastery Show for entrepreneurs looking to grow faster, better, smarter. If you would like to have a profound breakthrough in your business, talk to our team live by visiting chetholmes.com/breakthrough. Good advice is contextual. Get your answers at chetholmes.com/breakthrough.
Welcome, everybody. It is such a thrill and honor. Dr. Kami Haas has been such a wonderful friend of mine over the last 5 years, and he's such an inspiration to me. Let me give you one piece. I'm going to teach you about his own market data so you see how powerful he truly is. He shared with me that you're 9 times more likely to die of COVID if you have gum disease, and 1 in every 2 people don't know if they actually have gum disease. So I've been going around ever since you shared this with me, Kami, I've been going around to people and just saying, did you know that all you have to do is brush your teeth and floss your teeth twice a day to reduce your risk of COVID? And they go, nobody talks about that. And I said, you got to talk to Dr. Kami Haas. You got to get his book. So Dr. Kami Haas has come out with a new book, If Your Mouth Could Talk. I highly recommend picking it up everywhere and everywhere. It's on Amazon. It's in, all the special channels. We'll also give the URL for your, what is the right URL?
themouthbook.com, of course, Barnes & Noble, all the bookstores, your favorite bookstore, basically.
Okay, themouthbook.com. I highly recommend going and getting it. So what I love about Kami here is his brilliance. He just thinks outside of the box in everything he does. So when he first started Super Dentist, he changed the way, it's like Disney meets dentist office, and now it's 4 in every 5 children in San Diego go to Super Dentist, right? Because he's been able to craft, and I love every time I go to San Diego, I have to come and visit you because it's so much fun. Children actually have voted his dental offices as being more exciting than SeaWorld. And considering that dentistry is something that is in the top 3 most feared things of your life, that is one reason why I think Dr. Kami Haas is so brilliant.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
And then over the years, right, we've gotten to work together, and it's been so lovely. And now you've come out with this whole new line of Super Mouth. But I just wanted to get everybody introduced to how brilliant you are with that introduction. So thank you so much for hopping on.
Wow, that's such an unbelievable introduction. I really appreciate it, Amanda. It's such a pleasure to be your friend and to work with you. And I'm sure you know, but you and your company is one of the reasons why I wrote my book, If Your Mouth Could Talk, and why eventually that's led to the new company that we're launching later this summer. It's called Supermouth, which I think has all the pieces to be able to revolutionize oral care and by extension, healthcare. And I can talk to you about that. But all these compliments from you really means a lot, because I feel the same way about you and your talents and your creativity and your leadership and business savviness and your company. So thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Well, let's dive right in, because we got them with those interesting hooks there. Can you share, how is the mouth the gateway to our health? Can you explain that connection to our whole body?
So I think it's very obvious. If you have let's just say big infection on your arm, on your leg, and your body is now opened up, right? I think people can imagine, oh yeah, if there's an infection there, I need to take care of it, because if it's infected, the bacteria can get into my bloodstream and cause, potentially I would lose my leg if I don't take care of it, right? Or I can have organ failure, or I could potentially die from an infection. That's very easily understood. But that whole infection that's in the mouth, which is the opening to your body, people don't relate them together, because unfortunately, because really this happened 200 years ago in 1840, when the first dental school was established as a separate entity as medical schools. And if you think this was like smart people got together and there was a think tank to make this decision, it wasn't. It was a personality clash between these dentists who wanted to first establish the first dental school within the medical school in Baltimore, in Maryland, and they got into a fight. And so the guy's like, okay, I'm going to just establish my own dental school. So 3 years later, he established his own dental school. And that was the first model of dental schools and medical schools in US. And all the other schools started following that model. So, and it's been a disastrous model. But just because we've had it for 200 years, it doesn't mean that we need to continue it. So yes, your mouth, in addition to the fact that, of course, if you think about it, if you have bleeding gums and you have billions, somewhere between 5 to 100 billion microbes in our mouth at any time. It's called our oral microbiomes, bacteria, viruses, protozoa, all sorts of other microbes, primarily a lot of bacteria, right? And if you have oral infection, you know, you're bleeding gums or you have dental cavities, the bacteria can get in your blood. And where does the blood go? Everywhere. So it can go to your heart and cause local infection or inflammation. It can go to your brain. It can go to your lungs. It can go to an unborn baby, so it can be very dangerous for pregnant women. Or the inflammation as a result of the bacteria in the mouth can cause inflammatory response in the body. So those are two ways that the bacteria directly causes it. And of course, also think about it. Your mouth and your lungs and your trachea and the lower airway is just one tube, right? The surfaces are the same. So of course, whatever happens, your mouth affects your lungs. You know, to your COVID example that you said, and I can explain that in just a minute. And of course, also it's in your mouth is the opening to your GI tract. So I know a lot of people recently have been educated about the gut microbiome and how that impacts our immune system and our health in general and digestion, metabolism. We've really learned that in the last few years that we have more microbes in our bodies than human cells. We have more microbes, like somewhere between 3 to 5 times microbes living inside of our bodies or on our bodies than we have human cells. So in some ways, we're more of a super organism of microbes and human cells. So whatever these microbes are doing, it could be either really healthy. First of all, we can't live without them. The fact that people try to have, that if you take some antibiotics for a few days, what happens? You're like, everything goes like, yes, you may solve a local infection, but then you get a stomach ache and you have to take probiotics and prebiotics and all of that stuff. So all of that to say that your mouth's health is connected to everything else in your body, not just physical health and chronic disease, which is connected to almost everything. And we're learning more and more every day, from cardiovascular disease to diabetes to arthritis to, name it. Really, there's not, it'll be easier for me just to name things that I haven't seen linked yet to health, literally from everything, because it impacts conception and fertility, to health of pregnancy for both mom and the developing fetus, timing of birth, airway, because the mouth is not just these teeth. So it can impact oxygen intake and sleep and everything. And then as you get older, it impacts your confidence and your mental health and chronic diseases and how long you live and everything in between. So it's amazing.
It's insane. I mean, insane. Your core story is one of the longest we've ever done in the stories.
I'm not surprised. So I don't know if I told you this story. I had a medical issue. So I was in a hyperbaric oxygen tank. You know what that is? Like, it's like hyper-oxygenated tanks that you go to get healed. And I was told that I had to do 20 sessions. Like, those are like an hour and a half to 2 hour sessions. I'm like, and then most people there were like, they had serious illnesses. Mine was not that serious. It was like something that had happened. And they said, hey, you can watch a TV. I'm like, I'm not going to watch like 20 sessions of 2 hour TV. And they were watching these old movies from like 1950s or 60s. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get some books and read it. And guess what book I took with me? It was Ultimate Sales Machine, right? So I took it there, and this is not an exaggeration. I was like lying back, and I had this oxygen tank, and I'm looking at it, and I had a pencil because you can't take a pen because the pen would explode. And so as I'm like reading this, I'm like, this is really interesting. So I'm taking some notes, and so I start sitting up, and I guess I was breathing so hard that the nurse comes and is like, Kami, are you okay? I'm like, yes. Like, why? It's like, because you're breathing twice as much as everybody else. I was like. So that was really one of the inspirations of when I finished my therapy. I'm like, my brain was already hyper-oxygenated. I'm like, you know what? This is brilliant. I got to use market data and market statistics to educate people, because it's one thing if I say, hey, Amanda, brush and floss your teeth because you're going to live longer. Like, yeah, I've heard that before. Because people have heard something about your oral health has something to do with your heart health. I think that's the one thing that I hear people say.
Oh, really?
If I say, like you said, did you know that if you have gum disease, you're 9 times more likely to die from COVID from complications? That's a market fact statistics from a study that was done, right? So all these statistics, it really gets your attention, and it makes you, because it provides third-party endorsement, right? It's a market data. It's not something that I've made up. It's what statistics and what data and what studies show. And so I think it really goes a long way to get people's attention. Now, my audience are parents. Why? Because as you mentioned, I'm an orthodontist. My wife is a pediatric dentist. We started this practice called the super dentist. I don't know if this happened to be behind me right now. And so we started a practice called the super dentist. And like 30 to 40 million Americans, I had dental phobia because I had a terrible childhood experience with my dentist, like almost everybody has. And so from day one, one of my goals was, in addition to having world-class pediatric dentists, which we do, world-class orthodontists, which we do, the most amazing technology that we do, none of that matters if the children that we see don't want to come to us and don't want to come to us and don't take care of their mouths the other 363 days that they're not with us, right? So for me, having a fun practice was not an option. We had to do it because we're in the kids' world, and that's where they live. We need to kind of meet our audiences and our customers where they are. And so we really started this whole brand of super dentists, and we created. Many people from the outside, they say, how do you have, like, almost like you mentioned, 1/4 of the market of San Diego County of the kids go to one of our offices? And from the outside, they think, oh, it's just a couple of video games that I put in. Like, it has nothing to do with this. It's about building these emotional connections with kids and engage them, right? So they have a vested interest in their oral health. And they love taking care of their mouths and building these positive associations. So as they get older, they want to take care of their mouth, because it's not a secret, as a genius country as we are, as all these inventions and innovations and creations that we've done in technology and science and space travel and computers, the one thing that we've done a horrible job in is our health. We're one of the unhealthiest countries in the world, unfortunately, right? Yeah. And your health starts with oral health. Your mouth is not about brushing and flossing. It's a lot more than that.
We're 34th ranked in the world.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right?
Healthcare provider right now.
Yeah, it's really nuts.
It is, and we spend, we spend 5 times compared to the other 4 combined.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
To speak to how brilliant you are in this, and for everybody that's listening, really think about the different skill sets you have within you. Because Kami, I love that you were a musician, right? And then you took your music and you created theme songs, right? And then you created television shows, and then you created, everybody should look up his YouTube videos. I mean, how brilliant to write a song for brushing your teeth so they'll watch it over and over and over again. You have so many views.
Yeah. You can look up the super dentist. We have a ton of videos. We have movies, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And
characters. Characters. Your characters.
We have superhero characters. We have villains. We have a villain and a henchman, I should say, Cavatar. And it's really one of the reasons kids love coming to our practice. And when I say that, I really mean it. When I ask a mom or dad, why did you come here? Many times the mom uses this. They say, my kids begged me to come here.
Wow.
What kid begs their parents to go to the dentist? Because in that kid's head, it's not like they're going to the dentist. They're going to the super dentist, which is this theme park design office with slides between the several floors. And we have literally a superhero with a cape comes and opens the door. Her name is Melody, stands for Mixing Entertainment, Learning, Orthodontics, and Dentistry. We have villains, we have superheroes, we have movies, we have augmented reality experiences that our characters during COVID would go to kids' homes, in their bathroom and in their bedroom and in their kitchen table, on their kitchen table, and kind of, educate them and entertain them. And so, really, we really, I think, like, I don't have to tell you, but I know I'm preaching to the choir, but probably one of the secrets to anybody's success is knowing your customer, right? When I first started my practice, I thought parents are the customers, and particularly the moms, because they're the ones who sign the checks and bring the kids in. And statistically, 80% of healthcare decisions in the United States is made by women. I don't know if you knew that statistics, but it's like unbelievable how much power women have. Wow. And so I thought I'm smart. I know that statistics. So I was really always catering to the moms. But really, when I learned, I had this aha moment. It's kind of a long story how I kind of had that. Oh my God, the moms are the wrong people that I'm marketing to. Kids are my customers. If I
Wow.
make that kid happy, if I take great care of them, if they have a happy, healthy mouth, uh, the mom's gonna, of course, love me, and the dad is gonna love me. The kid is gonna love us. They're gonna tell all your friends. So when I really realize who I'm serving and who my team is serving, in fact, if you go to any of my offices, we have about 300 employees. If you ask any of them, "Hey, Susie, Johnny, who's your boss?" They don't say Dr. Haas. They say the kids, or this kid who's sitting in my chair right now, because they know that's the boss. So in other words, they're trained that if I say, "Hey, Susie, would you please give me this instrument?" And at the same time, this kid says, "I want a toy," they drop the instrument, go get the kid a toy. That's like, they know the priority.
Oh, I love that. You have to know where you are in the food chain.
Exactly.
Another thing that I want to highlight for you, for all of these businesses that are listening, is right as COVID hit, there were so many people that drowned in the overwhelm, and we're still seeing those effects of, 94% of CEOs feel that they're going to lose their jobs. 94% of them, because of the market disruption that happened with COVID. But you are an exceptional case of how you reacted during COVID. One, with your press releases that you did, all the press that you did, and then two, with the launch of Supermouth. So can you share just a little bit about what happened with the press, and then also,
100%. So when COVID hit, we're a dental office, right?
Right.
And we're in a really weird position, because some people, even the government, first said, "Well, you're essential workers because you're a dental office, so you can stay open." And then within a week, they said, "No, you need to shut down because you're a dental office." Like, nobody, even the government, can figure out if the dental offices are healthcare providers or not, because they think we're just cavity fixers or we're just straightening teeth. So anyways, we closed for 2 months across the country, from like middle of March in 2020 to middle of May, almost, within a week or two of each other, depending on what state you were in. So like everybody else, the first month was really a month of panic. I don't know. I mean, I think as a country, as a world, we were going through how bad is this virus, how contagious it is from a health perspective of our own families and friends, and, personally. But once beyond that, our business, are we going to open up another dental office during COVID? I don't know how this virus gets transmitted. But once those first few weeks were gone, and we went from emergency to like, now I understand how the virus is getting transmitted. Hey, we're infection control experts in dentistry, right? We've had to deal with HIV. I remember when I was in dental school, that was the virus that had just come introduced to the world. Then hepatitis. So we're like, really, we've done everything. And I knew that we were going to be the infection control leaders in this COVID era as well. So I wrote an op-ed actually in April of 2020. The reason I did it is because, like you said, everybody they were all talking about why COVID is killing. Like, remember how nursing homes, we had a lot of high death rates. And I was listening to all these experts on TV and in the newspaper, but nobody was talking about the oral health of the elderly. Like you mentioned earlier, 70% of people over age 65 have gum disease. This is CDC statistics. Wow. Over 70%. So which means if we didn't brush or floss, we were probably in a better position than having 70% of the population have gum disease, right? And I knew from before, not COVID, but that if you have poor oral health, you have a higher risk of pneumonia, other lung infections. So I wrote an op-ed that was printed in one of the states that said that I kind of brought up this, hey, maybe this is one other area that we should look at as a scientific community, that maybe we're missing one of the pieces of the puzzle, why we have so much death in the elderly, because obviously they have higher gum disease rates, and it's a fairly easy thing, like you said, to fix. Why don't we instruct all the people who have poor oral health, hey, I know dental offices are closed, but make sure you brush and floss and use the right oral care products in the right sequence, and a little bit of education about that. And so anyway, so that led to one or the other, and I was all of a sudden interviewing across the country about, all of a sudden became an oral health COVID connection expert. And then later on, several studies came out that confirmed my original suspicions. The study that you mentioned that came out in early 2021 was that showed that people with gum disease were 9 times more likely to die from COVID complications. And then once that emergency mode was over, I put my business hat back on, and I said, I think Winston Churchill said that don't let a good crisis go to waste, right? I remember, as you probably know, I'm in a CEO group. So I have a CEO coach. We get together with the the CEOs of different industries that we get together once a month. I remember every time I would go to the meeting, I'm like, guys, what can we do? This is a crisis here. From a business standpoint, what can we do to take advantage of the crisis? Because there must be an opportunity here, right? From a business perspective, yes, there's a disaster, there's health issues. We're going to address those, and we had, but let's just also focus on the business part of it, because we're going to come out of this, right? We're going to survive. But what do we do afterwards to thrive? Like you mentioned, if 94% or 9, of CEOs are worried about it because maybe they didn't do the things that they should have been to take advantage of opportunities, right? Because we know there's always going to be a recession or the next whatever. So I remember I was like, okay, maybe I should buy some hotels, that I like, because the hotels were really hit. I'm like, what do I do about hotels? I don't know anything about hotels. Like, if there's another disaster, first of all, that doesn't help me. And secondly, I don't have any advantage over the next person over hotels, right? In fact, they have a lot more advantage because they know this business. I'm like, what can I do in my world that I have an advantage over everybody else? But 25 years of experience in business and marketing and dental health and oral health. And I'm a really oral health expert. I had just finished writing my book as well, If Your Mouth Could Talk. And I'm like, you know what? The current oral care marketplace is a mess. And the proof is, I just told you, 70% of people have gum disease. More than 90% of adults have dental decay on their root and their teeth. In the last 30 years, with all the advancement in science and technology, our oral health is worse than it was 30 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I'll give you an example. If you want to, let's just say you have two kids, a 3-year-old with no cavities and a 15-year-old with tons of cavities. What toothpaste do you get for them? You don't know, because you're not educated. Dentists, we have zero knowledge about what's in a toothpaste or in a mouth, because that's not what we get educated about, how to do drilling and filling and straightening teeth. So it comes to the manufacturers. The manufacturers don't know anything about oral health. They just mix the same stuff they've done in the last 30, 40 years. So I thought this was a great opportunity to not just do a business, but really revolutionize oral care and by extension, healthcare, and help raise the next generation of healthy children and adults. So we came up with this idea of what the next company is going to be called Supermouth. It's getting launched on July 31st. So Supermouth, the way it's going to work is that you go on our website and we customize oral care products. Every single product that you need from pregnancy, during pregnancy, because that's another time that women have terrible oral health, unfortunately, because they don't know what to use. Like, should we use natural and not fluoride? And they don't know. So we have specific products, every single, by the way, from toothbrush to toothpaste to mouthwash to floss, and then from birth to 2 years, because they need different things, from 2 to 5, from 6 to 12, and then from 13 and above. And then that's based on age and risk factor and what you like to make it even playful. So I'm really, really excited about that company, and hopefully it's going to be my biggest contribution to our society when that company gets launched.
Well, I have to tell you that ever since you told me that you have toothbrushes that play music for the length of time you should brush your teeth, I've been on the waiting list. I can't wait to get that toothbrush.
Let me give you one more statistic. So kids brush 73% longer to music. And I know. And one of the biggest challenges we have as parents is to get our kids to brush their teeth, right?
Right.
And 2 minutes doesn't seem long until you're brushing your teeth. And then 2 minutes, like, oh my God, 2 minutes is a long time when you're brushing your teeth. So we have, I've written several songs now. I've hired other people to write it as well. Songs that are exciting, builds confidence in kids.
Yeah.
Of course, it's around oral health and smile and brushing their teeth and make it fun. And also, so they're all 2-minute timed. And so we have several of these in all of our oral care products, and it's going to be really amazing. So our oral care products are all going to be super, SUPER. They're going to be incredibly safe, unified. They're going to work together as a system, because right now you buy your mouthwash from this company and this, I literally, Amanda, I just met someone 3 weeks ago. He was telling me that he uses a mouthwash that says on the bottle, it says kills 99.99% of germs. Yeah. And then he also uses probiotics, which is just microbes, live microbes, right? So it literally kills microbes and then takes microbes. When I told him what they did, he's like, I don't know, nobody told me. I just saw the ad here and I saw the ad. So that's we have unified products that work together as a system. And then P is for playfulness, is in the core of our business business model, because if you don't love it and you don't enjoy it and it's not playful and it's not fun, you're not going to use it. E is for effective, right? Because I know some of these quote unquote natural products that are terrible, because they're not only sometimes not safe, but let's just say even if they're safe, they're completely ineffective. So you're kind of wasting your time and thinking I'm using something natural, but when it's not doing anything to your teeth or your enamel and your microbiome and your pH of your mouth and all of your acidity of the mouth and all that. And then Auris comes from a reputable source that's educated, and it's a dental expert and an oral health expert versus, someone random on the social media or Googling it.
Crazy. I love all pieces of this, and I want you to talk so much about every piece of it. But can you share with us too some of the things that are coming up, like the some of the launches that you're doing? Because this is so fascinating.
So, like, as you probably know, I kind of like to do things like always very uniquely and put some creativity in it because I think people appreciate it, right?
Yes.
And so we're launching our new company, Supermouth, on July 31st. It's going to happen at the Padres Stadium, which are our only professional sports team we have in San Diego right now, at the Padres Stadium. And the way we're going to do it, we're going to it's an official Guinness World of Record breakage. And so it's with how many people floss at the same time. I know. So the current record, I think, is like 1,800 something. And we're shooting for, 10 times that at least. And so we already have arrangements with Guinness. They're going to be sending judges. We have arrangements with Padres. And so hopefully we're going to, and one of the reasons we want to do this, first of all, we want to obviously, put our company on the map, but we also want to get the message out about oral health and flossing. And what's the best way to do it than break the Guinness World Record so, people can talk about it and tell their friends and kind of get the word out.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So every person that's listening right now, the first step is to get If Your Mouth Could Talk. I tell you, whether you're interested in your teeth or not, it will change your whole perception of your health, starting with your teeth, which I never knew how important this was until we went through your core story process, and then reading your book too reinforced it. And now I've been more obsessed with my teeth than ever before. So again,
mission accomplished.
Yes, If Your Mouth Could Talk. I never thought that I would refer your book either, but I've referred it to several of my closest family and friends because I really think it's something that people don't talk about, and they should be talking about it, right? So If Your Mouth Could Talk, or themouthbook.com. There's some things that they can take advantage of on supermouth.com, right?
Yeah. So if you go to supermouth.com right now, there's we have a skeletal website just to kind of give you little teasers. In fact, many of the stuff I just told you, it's not even on the website yet. So we got even additional teasers, but that website will be completely expanded and revamped by July 31st. We have, unbelievable from I'll give you one example. We have a movie that's coming out. It's a 30-minute movie. You're going to, I think, hopefully what you tell me is you're going to be blown away. You're going to laugh and cry, and really we have unbelievable actors and visual effects. And really it's a story of a kid that, I don't want to tell you the story, you're going to hear about, but we really put a lot of effort and our, really sweat and tears and creativity into it. Because again, if you watch a movie, you're going to have much more emotional connections to our characters, right? Once you get to know who Cavator is, and once you get to know why the super dentists are working so hard, or who Flossosaurus is, or who Bristles is, I think, and so we have, to tell those stories, we do it through movies and music and, comic books and augmented reality experiences and those things.
Thank you so much, Kami. Our time is up. It's been so wonderful. Dr. Kami Haas, If Your Mouth Could Talk, go pick it up. Thank you, Kami.
Thank you very much.
Attention business owners, would you like to increase your sales by 300% without working 3 times more hours? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can triple your sales conversions in the next 10 days. Hello, my name is Amanda Holmes, home to The Ultimate Sales Machine, written by my father, Chet Holmes, which has now been voted in the top 10 most recommended sales books of all time. Now I have a pop quiz for you. True or false? It is my product or service that is the difference between me scaling or growing stagnant. The answer is actually false. Majority of businesses, it is not your product or service that is the difference between your success. It is the skills it takes to grow your business. And skills can be developed. I'll give you an example. In 1967, 2 companies were started, one a mom and pop hamburger joint, one McDonald's. McDonald's is the highest grossing hamburger joint in the world, and it does not have a superior burger, right? It is the skills it takes to grow your business. But what's our problem as business owners? On average, we're looking at our phone 96 times a day. That's 96 different interruptions taking you away from where you need to focus. Because mastery isn't about doing 4,000 different things. Mastery is about doing 12 things 4,000 times. That's what we train our clients on. Like our most recent success story, Troy Averly generated $8 million in 2 weeks because he focused, because he had clarity, and he didn't spend an extra dime on ads. All he did was get clearer on his messaging. So I want to personally invite you to our 3-day free challenge on how you can triple your sales conversions. In this training, you will discover how to position yourself as #1 in your marketplace, how to train your prospects to buy from you and nobody else, and step-by-step instructions on how you can implement immediately. So our clients will pay tens of thousands of dollars for us to do this for them. I'm training you compliments on the house. Sign up now because this is a live training. It's happening in the next 10 days. And if you don't sign up, you won't get the opportunity to get the training. So go ahead and sign up, get your seat, and I'll see you live.
Subscribe for more videos. Claim your free Chapter 4 of The Ultimate Sales Machine. This chapter helps you get 9 times more impact from every move you make. Visit ultimatesalesmachine.com. This has been the CEO Mastery Podcast, brought to you by The Ultimate Sales Machine.